good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And y'all, tonight we're going straight in with Marilyn Alauria, one of my dearest friends, who's been quite a teacher in so many ways. And today she's going to be about talking about 10xing your life. And what does that mean? Marilyn is a renowned psychic medium. She's a teacher. She's a coach. She offers so many insights just through her ability to tap in to the people that she works with. But what I love about Marilyn is that she grounds in and brings in practicality in the most loving and useful way, because it's one thing to see up here. It's another thing. It's like, what do you do with that in your life? So Marilyn's going to talk to us about how to develop clarity of vision, how to trust your higher self. There's a power about not just planting the seeds, y'all, but intentionally doing something with that and so much more. So this is going to be a really educational call today, really empowering you so that you can create the life that you've been wanting to create and may have seemed a little elusive. So again, it's gonna be wonderful. We're gonna take live Q&A. The Q&A with Marilyn is always just amazing. And with that, Marilyn, I'm so happy that you're back on. Thank you for being on today.
Oh, me too. I like your hair, by the way, John. Hi, everyone. Asking everybody what their name is because it comes up as user and where you're from. And one of there's two things I'm going to say. It's not audio only, it's video too. So I'm not going to take care of the tech part because I'm not on John's team. One, I have a puppy, so we will see how it goes. Okay. So I was going to get the puppy sitter for tonight. The other thing is I'd really like to know what is something in your life that you would love to 10x? And I know 10x is an overused term out in the world, but what it means to me is something that you would really, this is what I feel like I serve. I serve people, and let me know if this is you. I serve people who have been on a spiritual journey for quite some time, and they feel ready to bring that spiritual journey, what they've learned, to others. They feel ready to teach others what they have learned. And if that's you, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from everyone and what it is that you feel that you really want to teach other people. So I seem to be getting a lot of those people in my audience, but we're going to talk about a lot of different things. So I'd love to see where people's goals are, because I know people are afraid of the word goals, John, which we could start with that or whatever you want to talk about.
I think start goals and a little technical assistance. If you're listening to audio only, go back and maybe go back into the Zoom page on the website and click on the video button. It'll tell you whether you want to listen or whether you want to watch on video. There's definitely a video button. You'll be able to watch us there or listen, hang out with us. Either way, it'll be wonderful. And thank you everybody for typing your names in. For some reason, you come up as users now according to Zoom, but we love you anyway, usernames or direct names. 10x in your life. That may be foreign vernacular to this community. And I know you give us a brief overview, but when we set an intention of 10x in our life, what can change?
A lot of things. I think what it does is it helps you to focus your intentions, and it helps you to get really clear about what it is you desire. It's not a pipe dream anymore. It's more of a grounded inside of you kind of experience where you co-create with the universe. You're participating with the universe. You're not waiting for something to show up. You're actually really in conversation every single day with the universe, with source energy, about what it is you desire. And it's not so much about the goal outcome, it's about the journey and what the journey takes you on. Because many times we dream with brackets on because we're dreaming from past experience, limitations, things we term as failures. There aren't any failures. And because we're dreaming from these past experiences, we have all this chatter and clutter inside of us. And when we get really goal-centered and goal-oriented in a really grounded way, and we get clear about where we want to go, and then we just stay on the journey. We surrender the results and we stay on the journey. Then spirit, and we're in conversation with spirit. The universe presents so many things that we couldn't even think about. One of the things, John, there's so much we're going to touch on today, but how many people here have had anxiety? I don't know that you have anxiety. I've had anxiety for years.
Oh, definitely. And it comes up. Money is an anxiety thing for me. And I know where it stems from. I've gotten to the root of it in different ways. But wow, that's definitely one that comes up for me sometimes.
So a lot of this work, so I never realized like how anxious I was, and a lot of this work of clarity of goals has helped me to release anxiety. And that's where I feel like is one of the best things, because when you realize like especially money and that's an anxiety for me at times too, a lot of times, or different things. When I'm working on my goal, I know I'm working towards something. And when you're working towards something, you tend to have a little bit of a faith with it and a belief in it. And you know that every single day you're working towards something, it's starting to release my anxiety. And I'm like sleeping incredibly well. Like when you
Mm,
talked about, John and I were talking before we got on, you talked about bringing health into things. And I'm working on the nervous system a lot and working with my goals with the nervous system because it's all from the inside out. I'm amazed at how much more peace I have because I'm not I'm not cloudy. I'm like, this is what I desire, and I'm bringing it into my whole physical system and then working on it from the inside out. And it's such a great, like somebody said here, they never set goals, or I never set an intentional goal. And I'd like to ask user 156, I don't know if that's, that's your name. Like, if you don't set an intentional goal, how's your life going? Maybe it works for you. What about you, John? I know you set goals like I do.
I go through phases where I tend to flow, but there's a spark that's guiding me somewhere. And what I really greatly appreciate about the way that you're teaching is that it's wonderful to read the Akashic records and to tune into our guides and to have this sixth sense activated, the clairs, whichever one or all of them are within us. And how brilliant, how amazing that we can get clear within ourselves enough to connect in that way. But then what do we do with that? What do we do with that connection? How do we learn to ask questions? And what is it that we desire from those relationships other than, thank God I'm finally connecting? But what comes of it from there? And then planning, having
Mhm.
clarity of what it is that you want and why you want it, and then setting on a trajectory. I believe that's when we really start living our life
Yeah.
instead of reacting to life.
Yeah, you get into partnership with all your guides, with spirit. You start using your clairs to understand why certain things are happening, or opportunities that come your way. Is this really a yes? Is this a no? What's my intuition telling me? One of the bonuses I'm giving is teaching about intuition and stuff. And you have more faith. And what people think, like people think they hit, like people really have to be careful of failures. Like when you're in connection with your clairs and your connection with your guides and your soul, it connects you to your soul. That's what all that does. And then you use all those gifts that you have, and then something happens where you hit a wall after working so hard. I have the opportunity to go to spirit and go to your intuition and say what is going on. And it's usually a character building moment. It's usually actually something that's helping you. It's
Mhm,
helping you to pause to make a better decision. It's not a no. I always say no's are yeses in disguise.
mhm,
So I don't know if that answers that question, but all of this is so important. You can't just live from your head. You have to live from your whole being, and spirit helps us to live from our whole being.
mhm. I think what also comes up a lot from people in community, people that I've coached, and I've certainly noticed it within myself, that when I don't, if I'm not planning, if there's not a trajectory, if I'm kind of just floating around, which I've done from time to time, that I find that during the lag periods, instead of really going towards something that'll make me feel good, I'm going with myself. What else do I need to heal? What else do I need to clean up? What else can I tune into? And it's like there's this constant search,
Hmm.
something within, but what am I doing with it anyway? Again, where am I projecting my energy? Where am I building something? Where am I relationship with something that's not only satisfying to me, but because it's satisfying to me, it's in this space. I know it has to be of service to others. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in your community that want to be of service to others, don't you think?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
they're
As a
not.
matter of fact, anybody raise your hand who doesn't think they want to be in service, I think we'll get, you know, it's a better count that way. Um, it's absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. So when we go into, let's talk about planning. because I know you're like, we're doing this and we're going to start
Right.
living. And it's, what are you guiding people into, and what are you seeing? What is this about planning and 10x in your life?
I feel like it's guiding people into the map of their soul, actually. It's not external, it's so internal. So when you come up with a goal, right? And then you come up with, like, say you want to be a best-selling author. I'd love everybody to write a goal down right now. I really would. But people are afraid to dream big. And I'm really helping people to dream bigger because I get to see their soul's expression. I get to see what's capable of them, what they're capable of. So I feel like when you have a goal out there, the whole point of this is not how the externals are showing up for you. It's more, how are you showing up in your own life internally? And so I really feel like I'm giving people a map to their own soul. And through the work, they're learning about themselves so much more, that they're discovering gifts that they didn't even know they had, that truly excite them. We have like so many people that have gone through like 10x your life, and then they go into next level living. They're having incredible amounts of success because they're taking off the caps and the lids off the boxes. They're allowing themselves to be, but they're being in active participation, in their life. And they're discovering things that they didn't even know they were capable of doing. They're coming home. So I know it sounds different than the way people teach goals, but if you don't have something in the navigation system, spirit is not going to help you get there. They're
Hmm.
not. They don't know
Well,
what you want, and they're not going to drive the boat for you or the car. Go ahead.
what if we don't know what we want? What if it's just like, I just don't know. I just want to, I just want to feel safe, or I want to feel like I belong. And beyond that, I can't even begin to describe it because this basic need doesn't feel like it's being met.
Then that's a goal, right? So what I teach, it's not about necessarily monetary goals. It's not about, I want to write the best-selling book. It's like, I need to declutter my living room. That might be the biggest goal you need right now in order to get clear. What people find in the 10X is they find the domino goal, which is the goal that is the triggering goal for everything else. And they come into the program thinking, I need to write this best-selling book. I can't do it. I have to start this podcast. And what they find is like, oh my goodness, I just have to exercise for 30 days. That's my goal. And they simplify it to a place that really helps them feel excited about their life. And they feel, because John, they feel like they can do it. Let me finish my thought.
Mm.
I'm not saying that to you, to me, because I edit myself in my head. So many people have such big dreams that they don't, they're at point A, they don't know how to get to point Z. They know they have this big thing inside them, even if it's living on the beach or falling in love or whatever it is, it feels so far away, and they don't know where to start, so they don't start at all.
Mm.
And they get frozen. And the way that I break down goals is I help you to understand, like, let's not look at that right now. Let's look at the thing that's right in front of you so that you can have results. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, yeah, it absolutely does. And again, it brings me back to all of the spiritual personal development work that we've done, even soul recovery. The beautiful part about soul recovery is like we regain an action taking ability that we've lost,
Yeah.
because the energetic part of us is back. The limitation of what was once gone is back. And then how do we nurture that? How do we bring it back to life? And so
And
again, we're building up towards something, but we need to take action.
yes, we need to take action. That's the biggest one that it's making me very frustrated. But before we do that, let's talk about bringing our souls back. And then the whole thing is our soul is infinite. There is so much more to even learn. So
Mm.
once you start doing that, and then you start getting to know your soul on a very intimate level, and you don't let your soul, if that's the relationship, right? So you're not waiting for your soul to dictate your life. You're not waiting for your guide to tell you what to do. You're not waiting for someone outside of you to tell you what to do. You're bringing it all home inside of here, and you're starting to trust yourself, which is your soul. And then you go places that you didn't even know were possible. And that's the magic of this work. And I've been on your show, I don't know how many years, and you have seen, like, the last time I was on, I was in a completely different place, completely different. Everything was like changing, opening up, expanding. And then soon after that, I had a death in the family. My mother died, right? And it's like, through all the trials and tribulations in my life, and they have been challenging lately, I can't even call them challenging. I still have goals in them. I don't go to sleep. I don't wait until things get better. I'm still living my life. And that has been amazing for me.
So
So,
let's go back to the beginning. Planning.
okay, I'm going to listen.
It's actually, I want to listen. So it's okay. So we're in this place. We've done personal work, spiritual development work. We have ideas of things that perhaps that we want or feeling that we'd like to experience and to be more secure in those feelings.
Yeah.
Uh, how do you guide the people that you work with into the planning phase of like getting into those actionable steps th- that are going to work with the synchronicities that are going to arise anyway? Because
Yeah.
this isn't about being so linear that you're like planning every detail for the next 5 years in order to get something. And it's not that it's not that either, but it sounds like there's like this beautiful stew of
Hmm.
working with those linear aspects and also what arises along the way as we're heading towards the experience that we're building towards.
Yeah. And I love that you use the word stew because I used to call it the 4-pot technique on the stove. So the planning is about like looking at the big picture, what you desire, and then reverse engineering to where you are today, and then breaking it down so that it's actionable and bite size. You said take action. You have to take action. So many people aren't taking action. And then it's also prioritizing the goals. So
Mm.
somebody just wrote that they want to write a sci-fi fantasy genre, so a book, and where do you start with that? Well, you break it down into these uh little bite-sized pieces. So you take action and you see success. So I love that you said a stew because one of the things I teach buckets in this one where I have you put your goals in buckets and you start recognizing this is like the bucket that's on fire right now. It's like a 4-pot stove, right? This is the pot that's on fire. I'm feeding this pot. This pot's in the back. It's just, I didn't even turn on the fire. That one's like, I'm just about to, all the ingredients are in there, and this one's simmering. And it helps you to organize your mind and your thoughts so that you can plan. So you can plan your day, so you can plan your week, so that you're actually seeing you're getting things done. Because the one thing I've seen in the spiritual community is people get so stuck that they do all this work on themselves, which is great, but then they don't take it out into the world. They don't do anything with it. So I think the planning and taking action is everything, because when you plan and take action, that's when you learn about yourself. You don't learn about yourself waiting until something gets better. You learn about yourself when you're out there and really uncomfortable.
I just love this conversation so much. A lot of what we hear, I'm sure you hear it in your community also, maybe less because you're guiding people in other ways, but it's been constant for the 11 years that we've been running the show. It feels so good to be in community and listening to the show because I
Yeah.
don't have that in my life. I don't, and so people stop doing anything because they feel like no one understands them, no one speaks their language, nobody will get it, they'll be ostracized. So many feelings of why it's not a good idea to take action.
Yeah, it's such a good question, John. I just wrote a thing about that today in my newsletter because I'm starting to gather testimonials, video testimonials for my program. And um, so many people, one woman in my program, she's so talented. She's so amazing. She's so great. And she was in a community where the teacher did not like her light and she could
Wow.
feel it. And so she shut it down. She shut it down. And then she decided to leave the community and then she isolated. And
Wow.
that's what a lot of people do. They isolate because no one understands them, or they're not living in a physical space that maybe is open-minded, or their own husband or wife doesn't understand them. And then she joined my program, and they have to be in community where people are not competing with you. They're celebrating you. And what I love to do is celebrate everybody's unique qualities. So I agree with you. Like, you can't isolate anymore. You can't shut down. You have to find community where people are speaking your language. They see you. Even if you're doing something so different than somebody else, you're still celebrated and seen. And we haven't had that. And I think that's part of our journey. Don't you think so? Like, I think we're here to I don't think it's easy. I don't know that it's, and I think people have to get over the fact that it's easy. I think that's like, stop that. I don't even like saying that, because to me, when you are in process, I don't really like saying that it's not easy. I like to say that this is just the way it is. It's life, and you get to live it in a richer way. What did you want to say?
Well, I think it becomes easy when we decide that we can no longer deny ourselves anymore. It just
Yes.
becomes,
Yes.
it hurts so much. It's like, this is just who I am, and I don't know what to do about it except, and if I get fired, if you leave me, if you don't love me anymore, if you think I'm too weird, it's like, I love you anyway. I don't know what else to tell you. You know, it's I love you for you. I wish you'd join me on this journey. Maybe you can't, but I've got to 10x my life because I've been minus 10xing it on this side. And,
Yeah.
and it's been okay. I felt like I've been asleep. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like nobody understood me. I felt like I had to hide. I felt like I had to dim my light,
Yeah.
minus 10x. And so I love that you talked about that. This woman felt like she had to dim her light,
Mhm.
but you're teaching people to amplify their light.
Yeah. And somebody in your comments said the right community is not easy, but it's very important. But community is easy if it's the right community. Because
Exactly.
my people stay with me and your people stay with you because the community is the right community. So get into the right community. It's so fascinating. We're having this conversation, and I don't know that I want to record this, but I will. It's February. I always put a stamp on things because nothing stands still. It's February 15th, 2023, 2024. I ended my relationship with my brothers yesterday. I
Wow.
put a stop to it because when you start really owning your truth and owning your light, and like you, I'm not angry. I love you for who you are, but I'm also no longer going to participate in a relationship where I'm not respected or seen. I don't
And
even
the,
care about, I see
yeah,
myself, so I don't need you to see me. It's different if you're like, but yeah, what were you going to say, John?
I say we can't participate in a relationship where there's the denial of love because that's
Yeah.
just a false pretense. It's not true. So it's like, no, I'm not playing and shutting that down. And I have to, not only for my sake, but for the imprint that I leave when I'm no longer here, incarnate, either for my family, my children, my nieces, my nephews, my neighbor, my pets, whoever it may be. It's like, again, we can't deny ourselves anymore. It's too painful. So we have to 10x our lives, Marilyn, as far as I'm concerned, especially as fast as everything's moving. We have to keep up with the pace.
And I was able to make that move because I'm 10xing my life, because I said I count, because my goals matter. And my family will, I mean, I had a book come out, I have a podcast, and they never acknowledge it. And it doesn't hurt me because it's just who they are. But I've decided that there's a certain boundary. There's a certain point where there was abusive language. So that was what made me finally end the decision and make the decision. And also my mother's not here anymore, so I don't have to connect. And I'm sure we will connect down the line, but I needed to pause. And I took care of myself, and I was able to take care of myself because I'm clear about what I want in my life. And nobody's going to stand in the way of that.
Mm.
And that's what 10X in your life does. So I 10X'd 2 years ago. And when I decided to do that, everything came apart and it needed to, and it was really good. And then last year was building it. So last year was building everything. And then this year is the acceleration. And it doesn't have to happen like that for everyone, like year after year after year, you know how it works. It just happened that way for me. And so last year I was like, I'm 20Xing, and then all this like stuff that I needed to work on came to the surface.
Mm.
And it was so good. And then that's where like romance started opening up, all these things started opening up. And then um for right now, for me, for January, after the loss of my mom, I've needed to pause a bit and just heal my own heart and stuff and work with my community, which I love doing.
I
Um,
love so when you talk about 10xing people, and again, you guide an amazing community through these processes and attunements and exercise of getting to know themselves. There's a few things that you bring in, and again, all this is part of the special offer, but I want to get into conversation about this because it's really important to ground this in, because I feel like we're preaching to the choir, but we're reminding you there's the energy of y'all seeing someone who's doing it so that you know that it's possible also. It's that 4-minute mile. It's like, wow, it got broken once. It's like, it is possible. It's not beyond me. It's like it's
Yes.
within. So that's so important. But in this 10X program, Marilyn, again, you get into clarity of vision.
Yes.
How do you guide people into clarity of vision?
Um, a lot of my work is through, so it's always higher self, because your higher self is living your life that you want to live,
Mm.
that you desire to live. It's already living. It's your first guide. It's the main guide. It's the one guide that everybody should know, because that guide has all the answers. They know what class to take. They know what coach to hire. They know what relationships, they know places to go. So you have to get in contact with that guide. And a lot of my work, I'm really known, especially in my communities, for my meditations, because they're really out of the box and they really get you exploring areas of your own self in a way that you didn't even know was possible. Because I know everybody's gifted, and there's always ways to get in. So through meditation, through working with your higher self, through clarity of where you're at and what you need to release, you're able to start visioning the future.
Mm.
Because if you don't take stock of where you are in your life and what you need to release, you're just staying in the place of being stuck and continuing on the hamster wheel. But
Right.
when you start recognizing things and releasing and envisioning and working with your higher self, you feel hope, you feel possibility, and you have direction. And
And
even if you said, like, sorry, John, just one second. Even if you, like you said before, not having clarity, clarity can be loving yourself. Clarity can be being in relationship. Clarity can be being in community. I have somebody in my program that joined that's like, I just want to have joy. And I'm like, great, you're in the best place for that. And she's having a great time discovering that. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I love what you're sharing, and what comes through for me in the clarity of vision also, because I've been experienced this lately also. There's an inspiration that arises once we have clarity. There's like this juice that we maybe perhaps thought was gone, or we're getting old and we don't feel it anymore, whatever it is, but that feeling of being inspired by something, of going towards something,
Yeah.
vision, it's like it helps alchemize that again in a way, in the vitality and the joy and the way we show up in relationship to others.
Yeah. And that's where you transform. That's where true transformation happens, because you start owning, you take ownership of self. You're like, it's just a really magical experience. And I'm telling you, like anything you live, first of all, any successful person in this world, everybody think of someone successful right now or someone that you admire. And they have goals. They have goals. Steve Jobs didn't get where he was without goals. Oprah didn't get where he was without goals. Einstein, I was just listening to a thing about Edison, Thomas Edison, and what he did. Like they had goals and they had a mission, especially like Einstein and Edison and Jobs, all of them. They've created something that totally shift the way we live our lives.
Mm, amazing. And then
And
we,
go
oh, go
ahead.
ahead. No, no,
No, keep going. Then we're going to talk about dreams. Go ahead.
yeah, we got to talk about so many things. We're going to take live calls also. If y'all want to ask Marilyn your personal question, raise your hand. We're going to get to live calls also. Domino goal, you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
It's refresh our memories again.
So the domino goal is the main goal that you really need to focus, because people get scattered and overwhelmed, especially spiritual people, because they're getting a lot of input and they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to do this, they want to do that, and they're interested in a lot of things. And a lot of people think that there's something wrong with that, but there isn't,
Mm.
because you're a unique, whether you want to grow a business or not, you are a brand, you're a unique individual. And all these different things that you're interested in make you special. So people box them up and try to make them, oh, I've boxed this up. But it's like I used to box up reading and being on camera and, my different aspects of myself. And once I took the lids off and started bringing everything together, I mean, my TV career, behind the scenes, everything that I've done, acting, dream work, tarot, everything. Once I brought it all together, I came home to my soul.
Mm.
So people get so confused by the scattered energy that when they come into a domino goal, that is the goal they need to focus on right now, and it's a triggering goal for all the other things they desire, they start organizing themselves in a way that allows them to live.
Wow. And again, not lived in 20 different directions, scattered, not landing on anything, but really honing in.
Yep.
And I feel like there's a grace that arises when you really tap into your domino goal. It's not like you're trying to force something or being really, militant about this has to happen.
No.
It feels like it's just like, oh, but of course.
Yeah, it's a lot of play. It's a lot. I work with a lot of creativity and imagination because that's where your guides are and your psychic ability is. So it's a lot, it's a different approach towards goals because there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of play, there's a lot of fun. Most importantly, it takes you out of that, like you said, the militant, which is the mother, the father, the teachers, whatever the stories are, and it brings you into perspective from your heart.
Mm,
So you're starting to say, no, this is what is truly important to me. It's always amazing to me the people that go through this program and they're like, oh my goodness, I had no idea that was the goal I was supposed to focus on. It makes perfect sense. And there's a relief in their face
mm.
because they're also driving, they're cracking the whip on themselves. Like, why aren't I doing this? Why aren't I doing that? Why? And then all of a sudden they come in and they're like, oh my goodness, now my dreams are taking shape. Now I know what I'm supposed to do.
Love that.
Yeah. And everything, like everything I teach, John, you know that I don't believe the guru is in within you. The wisdom is in within you. So everything I teach, and this class I'm offering you has 3 bonuses, live bonuses. It's a live experience, not the class itself. 10X is a digital class, but then we have 3 bonuses that are live.
Oh,
And
wow.
those bonuses are really amazing because people get in touch with their higher self. They learn a quick tool for their intuition. And really what I'm all about is empowering people, empowering themselves. I know you are too. We're never about giving power, taking people's power from them. And they really start anchoring into that power and stop second guessing. It helps you to stop second guessing. I'm going to let you lead this because I'm leading
I
it.
love that you're saying I'm not about taking people's power away. And that's such an abundant mindset and way of being. And I was just laughing because why would I want to take somebody else's power away? I'm still trying to figure out what to do with all my power because there's a
But
lot.
but so many teachers do, just like I explained that student who she didn't like that she was outshining her. And she wasn't. She's not this girl is the sweetest thing in the world. No ego in her at all. So I know the experience. Plus, I know the teacher she's talking about. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't say that. I didn't say that to her.
But I love it. And again, my point of saying what I said is that there's so much power that emanates from us that we're learning to have relationship of what we can do with it, really realizing just how expansive it really is. So the notion that we have to take from someone else to satisfy something within us, it just doesn't make sense anymore. Not that it
Yeah.
ever did. But it's more clear as to why it doesn't make sense. So this is amazing. So it's I'm basically going through the special offer of y'all. If you want to click on the special offer button that Marilyn's offering on the call, fantastic. We'll get into live Q&A here in a little bit. But Marilyn, again, life inventory. We have to take stock in our life. And you're no BS. It's like, okay, let's take
Mm.
stock. What's really there? We're not going to sugarcoat anything. We don't have to, but we're also going to amplify part of the inventory that's ready to be amplified that maybe you're not paying attention to. It's all of it. It's not just taking inventory of the things that you think you have to get rid of so
Right.
that you
Yeah. And, it's funny. We get a lot of emails and even, I have somebody who takes calls for me when people are interested in my program. And she says, man, every single person says they love how direct you are. Like you don't show. I always tell people that join my program, like you're going to have a boot print on your butt, but it's going to be a heart over it.
It'll be a
So it's
kiss
like,
over it.
I
Yeah.
kick you in the butt, but it's all for my heart. I love what this woman, user 150, said about taking an art class at 70 years old and she discovered she can draw. Congratulations, because
Wow.
that's what this class is all about. It's discovering these hidden secrets that you've been keeping even from yourself. It's
Mm,
discovering this new paradigm of yourself that's always been there. That's why when people say to me, I don't know what I want to do, I almost call bullshit on that for a second because what they're doing is they're just denying a part of them.
yeah.
They're not speaking their truth. So like in this course, you're not only going to learn like clarity of vision, letting go of what you no longer need, really owning your dreams and being honest about it and saying, even if I'm scared, you're going to be scared no matter what. You're going to change doesn't happen when you're comfortable. Change happens when you're uncomfortable and when your emotions are at the surface. That's why I'm so in my emotions. Like John could feel my energy. He knew it. And I'm okay with it. I'm like, wow. healing and great things happen when you're alive, you're in your feelings. John's always in his feelings too. So you're going to get into this, and then you're going to stop hiding from yourself. It's not even hiding from the world. You're going to stop hiding from yourself, and you're going to you're just going to be like, I'm ready. I'm ready. And that's where the implementation happens. That's where the motivation happens. That's where you get excited. That's where the inspiration, that's where you're like, wow, I want to do this. I'm afraid, but I want to do it.
Mm.
And once you turn that on, there's no turning it off, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I agree. I agree with you. This is so good, Marilyn. All right, next we get into making room for new opportunities. It's like, but I can take on more, but I can take on more, but I can take on more. And you actually take us through a process of releasing and then embracing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of times people think that anything that comes their way, they're supposed to say yes to. And no is a very powerful thing to say to someone so that you free up your life for other things. And that's even like dinner with a friend that expects you to go out to dinner with them. And all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm going to say no because I want to stay in tonight and do the 10X class. I want to take care
Mm,
of me. So, yep.
yeah. Well, and that's part of a big one. That's I know this has been an issue for me in different goals that I have gone towards. It's like it's really easy to find somebody else or something else to put my attention or priorities in.
Hmm.
Um, and sometimes that's just a form of not really wanting to be with my goals. So self-prioritization,
Hmm.
really being in a place where we're ready to receive that.
It's so funny. Like I think you do too, John, right? Like I prioritize myself.
Yeah.
I really do. And it's funny because like right now, like I have some people tapping into me, and I'm like, I have no resources for you right now. And I don't even deny it. I just tell people right now, I have no resources for you right now. My resources are all on my business right now, myself, my life, what I love to do, and my puppy and my dog. And it
Nice.
feels really good prioritizing me, really good. And that I have to thank is my higher self, which is also, I'm going to let you take us through this, or if you want me to take us through this, because I really want to get to, I really am excited about what I'm offering you guys, especially this one. It's new, it's a little bit different.
Take us
So if
through it,
you've
man.
taken the 10X before, you want to take it again because the live components in this one.
Take us through it.
Okay, so I've already explained the 10X class. You already understand that. That's a digital class. So you're going to have the foundation class, your gateway to transformation. Module 2 is where dreams take shape. We're not going to go into all of that now. Module 3 is moving into the new paradigm of yourself. And module 4 is implementation. I'm going to actually, oh, I don't need to share the screen. You all have it on there. So that is really great. And you already know that. And I've got it. We're going to start gathering testimonials now because quite a few people, and we get a lot of emails, but we haven't asked permission. Oh, you have a different page.
Ah, okay. Well, I have a different page.
Yeah, we created a page for you. So that's
Here we go.
okay. I can give it to you now. How do you want to do this?
Um,
Keep it in that way?
yeah, keep it in that way. And then we'll update it on our side. That'll be
Okay,
great.
so I just need, let me see your page for a quick, I'll look at your page for a quick second. Yeah, it's a different page. Let me just see if you have the right bonuses. Wait, I'm looking online. Yeah,
Bonus
it's a
road to
different
success.
price too. We're going for less. We're giving you less. It's
Oh,
actually,
wow. So they're getting
so
more, but it costs less.
yes,
Love
yes,
that. Let me get off my
yeah.
page.
So, let me, should I share this? No matter what you'll get. So do you want me to share it? Because we have it tagged correctly in my system.
Yeah, let's get you on. Make sure that you're on as a
Putting on
shoot
the chat. I'm sorry if our teams didn't talk, but there it is, everybody. That's the page.
the chat. And if you want to share your screen, you can, Marilyn.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, perfect. So, so this is the page. And so you can just read about it. I put it in there. It's $97. We lowered the price because it's really more important to me that you all do this experience than it is about uh not doing it. So that's more important to me. Hold on a second. Okay. And then the bonuses, these are really, so that's the modules and everything. And then the bonuses are really great. Bonus number 1 is a soul-driven success live training where you master your intuition and own your mission. And this is a really incredible training. It's going to be on Monday, February 26th at 12 p.m. You will have the recording. There is a Facebook group. This is all done on Zoom, all these trainings, but there is a Facebook group that you will get invited in right away. Once you join this program, you'll get the information. You'll get into the group probably Friday or Monday. And so if you missed the live call, don't worry about it. Tag me. I'm very active. We have emails going to you that are going to keep you accountable on the 10X class. There's a lot of participation going so that you stay accountable, and that I'm with you, but it's a limited time Facebook group, right? So we do that on purpose so that you do the work. So on Monday, so you'll be in the group Friday, Monday, whenever you start, join now. You'll be in the group tomorrow. And you'll start getting emails right away. And then Monday, February 26th is this live training where you're going to learn your higher self. You're going to meet your higher self. Don't worry if you can't see, you're going to meet your higher self, trust me. And then you're also going to learn a really profound tool on how to connect with your intuition and use your intuition. Then the bonus 2 is actually, it's a coaching call more than anything. I really will put you in hot seat calls and coach you and help you to get past whatever limitations you have. So I've done these calls and they go really, really well. And people join me on Zoom and then we just work through things. And a lot of times people won't have a question, but their questions will get answered that they didn't even know they had based on somebody else's coaching. And then bonus 3, we're going to be talking about activation codes, which people are overusing, but I've just taught how to create your own activation codes. It's not about buying somebody's activation codes. Your activation codes are inside of you. So I just did a whole downloaded class this month. I'm doing it right now in Next Level Living. So we're going to have a panel discussion about this, about how you could really take this 10X, take this domino goal, then find a code for it and activate it. And I got to tell you, when you start getting into the symbolic language of your soul, your life changes because you're out of your mind, you're out of the mind chatter, you're out of the linear thinking, and you're into the whole feeling of everything. And then it's a exclusive Facebook group that'll end. She didn't put the end date on it, but it closes on March 1st.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
And it's $97. We gave it to you for $97.
this is fantastic. This is us. Talk about a roadmap.
Yeah.
For creation. I mean, really putting things into action, y'all. And it's, Marilyn, the years have been flying by. Last year flew. This year's like, I can't believe we're almost in March already. And times just, it's, what are we doing with it? And I seem like I'm busier than ever before.
Yeah.
But I feel scattered busy, like rounded busy. So having the clarity.
Yeah. So let me explain. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry. Finish that.
No, please go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to just answer a question, but having the clarity, finish, John.
No, having the clarity, self-prioritization, knowing when to say no's, really focusing on the why of what we're creating things. Again, being in community that supports that, because we can be in community, but if community's pulling you in all these different directions, even though we feel like we're accepted, we belong, it could be playful and all things, but if our nervous system, if our anxiety is running that connection, then really we should rethink what's motivating that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have to get in touch with that because people think like, I'm going to say I am affirmations. I'm going to say this and that. And if you're not connected with this and your higher self and intuition gets you connected to that, then that's why your life is going zigzag and crazy. And that's what this helps. That's the clarity, the self-prioritizing. So I want to share something else with all of you. And if you're not on Facebook, the thing about this program, I'm very, very active with my community. So it's not gone are the days where I sold a program and I was like, you're not getting, there's no access or whatever, or you get this one live call. This is different. If you're not on Facebook, all the live calls are on Zoom. The digital class is in Kajabi. It's in a beautiful membership. You have an app. You can listen to it while you're washing dishes. So you're going to go into a thing. You can watch the class tonight. And then if all the other live components are not on Facebook, they're on Zoom purposely so that we could be together intimately. It's not a webinar, it's a meeting. And then you have my email. You're going to get my personal email. It's going to say hit reply, tell me why you joined. You're going to answer a quiz. You're now in touch with me and a couple of people on my team. So if you're not on Facebook and you have a question, don't write me a book because I'm going to get on you if you do. Write me a sentence of a question. I'm going to answer it. So I just want you to know that because I want you to have results. And that's why we have a time sensitive group. It's till March 1st, because after that, like for $97, I'm done, unless you continue on with me. So that's my answer to that. So this is the little component of the Facebook. Yeah, it'd be great if you're on it and joined with a fake thing, but that's what I would say.
Nice. Love
Go ahead.
that. Thank you so much for answering that. Y'all, this is $97 if you use the link in the chat box. April's updated the link.
Oh, good. Sorry about that.
No, thank you for the clarification. Y'all, it's not $111, it's $97. And there's more bonuses and the live components and what's being taught in there. It's like it's bonus on top of bonus because it was better than what we originally presented anyway. Y'all take advantage of this. I think I want to do this with you. I think I'm the time
We
to do
should
it.
do something like this together, John. It'd be really a lot of fun. I really like the live components. I also really like getting involved with people and helping them to see results. It's really important to me that people have results. Really important.
Amazing. All right, y'all take advantage of it. Again, the link is in the chat box. Click on that. It'll take you to the right page, $97. And you'll be
April
able to-
fixed it too. Yay,
April's
thanks,
April's
April.
fixing it. So it's all being taken care of. All right, are you down for taking some live calls?
I am. And the person who said, I would like results, I would like you to have results. So
Yeah.
you do the class, you do the live, you're going to have a result no matter what. You may not have the ultimate result, but you'll have a result. Tara's on here. She took it and she said something great about it. I don't know if anybody else in my other community has taken it. Okay, let's go.
All right. I'm going to call you all users until we get Zoom to change their policies. But user 1351, what is your name? Where are you calling from? And what is your question for Marilyn?
Hi, Rochelle from Colorado. Thank you for taking my call. I'm actually kind of spinning right now because I thought I was really clear with my question. And now it's like, I think the question is just sign up for the class and that'll answer.
What was your initial question, Rochelle? Just give me the sentence.
Okay, my sentence is clarity in my next steps. I'm trying to release, I think, blocks towards financial, I think it's all there. I'm just trying to release blocks, probably past lives and stuff around financial worthiness.
Love that. Great question. And so what I'm going to invite you to do, I'd love for you to take the class because we're going to talk about, like, you'll get into the blocks of the things you have to release. But what I'm going to invite you to do is instead of focusing on past life or the blocks that are there, focus, if you can, just for a week, focus on possibility. Because a lot of times we're trying to dissolve the block and then we're missing the whole path in front of it. So once I saw a big rock and I was like, to my guides, I said, how do I get past this rock, this block? How do I get past it? They said, you go around it, live your life. Whatever that block is meant to teach you is going to come in when you're living your life. Does that make sense, Rochelle?
Yes. Yeah.
And there's always layers to this, right? Especially if we have a money story, a money noise and stuff, there's always different layers to it. But really, it is about unworthiness. I agree, some of it, but I feel like it's about you being, and you can tell me if I'm wrong about this, you're really afraid of your power or the stepping into it. It feels like it could be bigger than you even imagine. Does that sound right or wrong?
Yes. I teach a lot of students, choir, theater, dance, all that. But I think I'm shifting my platform to a different thing, maybe helping kids get into college with all the audition, and I know how to do that. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great, Rochelle. So you are clear, but we deny the clarity sometimes because we're afraid we're going to fail or we're not going to do it. And you have no idea if you set the course out for that, whatever, say that's what you want to do. And we can talk more, like if you take this program, do the hot seat, let me coach you a bit with this so I can help you. But what may happen is you go on the journey and all of a sudden this school system's like, can you help us? We want you to bring this curriculum into this, and we want you to help here, or we want you to talk here. So many things may open up. You may find a book pouring through you. You may find this YouTube thing, all this stuff. but we stop the opportunities because we stop ourselves. Does that
Mm.
help, honey? Am I just talking
Yeah.
at, I hope it,
No,
I
that's
hope you
wonderful.
feel
Thank
me
you.
with you, not at you. Okay, good.
Thank you.
That's what I have a question.
Okay.
As Marilyn's talking about this and the possibilities, how's it making you feel?
Mhm.
Energized.
Excited, right?
Yeah. Because I think I know it. And yes, I think I'm afraid to leave the public school platform. I'm not afraid. I just, timing. That's all. Yeah.
Amazing. And this is what I was talking about earlier. When we're in community with someone who understands our language,
Mm-hmm.
has been where we've been or can relate, can hold us without judgment or with enthusiasm. That's wrong. You have to be safe. It's not going to be good. It's whatever. Or you're not dreaming big enough. It's like when someone can meet us exactly what we are, but can see and can hold the vision for what you're stepping into. And they see it as a goal by goal, not from A to Z. Go ahead.
No, I think in the public platform, I don't feel as capable to intertwine all of this. And I think in a different platform, I could definitely, when it feels right with those individual students, I could intertwine this that speaks to me so much and I crave all this information. So yeah.
I love that. And again, what Marilyn's teaching, the steps, the domino goal,
Mhm.
everything just like clicks open. Wow, excited
Yeah.
for you.
Something,
you.
Rochelle, glad you asked that question, John. I want to say this real quick. Something you said, Rochelle, that you're not ready to leave this the public school system yet, or whatever it is. I think that's what you said, correct? Right?
Possible. I
Right.
think I am, but yes.
That's
possible.
okay. Because the way that I teach is that's a bridge job. And we're actually going to post the video about what a bridge job is, because it's really just the job that pays the bills while you build the dream. And so many people think they have to leave something in order to have something else, and it's not true. What you have to do is use that situation as the planning to support.
Yep.
And when you work from, I have had a bridge job, so that's how I'm able to teach it. It's amazing what happens. And I'm telling you, yeah. So, okay, I'll leave you at that. I hope you join. I really do. I'd love to get to know you.
Thank you.
And as soon as you get like the email that says reply here why you joined, introduce yourself and say to me, I was the woman on the call that's doing this, so that we can get to know each other. Okay. Great. Thanks, Rochelle.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, Rochelle. Thanks for coming on. All right, let's continue. User 156. Let's get you to unmute. I'd love to know your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, I'm Karin. I'm calling from Iowa.
What's your name, honey?
Karin?
Karin. Hi, Karin.
All right.
Hi. Oh, thank you. I feel frozen.
Mm.
uh, Thank you for everything you're saying. I guess a lot of what you've already answered was so helpful for the first caller. I guess you talked about focus on possibility. I've been wanting to move for so long, but really like just keep having the same issues with money and eating, and actually taking those first, like you said, trigger steps to moving forward,
Mhm.
and feeling like I've just been looping for years, and then just coming out of one of the hardest periods I've ever come out of. And actually today just had all these visions, and then had kind of a synchronicity that's showing me that's actually like more real than what I've been thinking of every day. And so I guess the moving past the actually taking that first moving past that trigger point.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you, first of all, thank you for your transparency and vulnerability. Are you clear about where you want to move?
I want to live by the ocean.
Right. So I want you to, for the next 7 days, to just pull, I do a vision book. I
Okay.
want you to get like a photo book, or, like an art book. I don't know if you've done this, but I really want you to start getting clear about where you want to live and what that experience is like. Do you know where by the ocean you want to live?
Well, right now I've been looking at the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
In the past, it's been like Australia, Greece, Kauai.
So I don't want you focusing on what's not working for you. I want you really building the dream of what you desire,
Okay.
because that's going to help release the grip around your heart. That is, I keep disappointing myself is what it feels like. I keep coming back and I'm not doing it. And there's a part of you that doesn't believe that it's possible, but it is. And in order to get it, we can mentally tell ourselves all these things. You're very intelligent, you're very conscious, but I want you to start feeling it. And if you create this vision book of like pictures of where you want to live, you don't have to know the exact location. There's the trees, because I know the Pacific Northwest. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, right? But I'm going further up too myself. And when you start having that, and you start looking at it every single night, even if it's a Pinterest board, sweetie, even if you do it on Pinterest, I want you to start getting into the feelings. And after you look at it, I want you to close your eyes and say, where in my body do I feel stuck? And breathe into it. Let's not try to figure it out. Let's feel it out. And John knows I'm not a woo-woo kind of, but this, I'm telling you, marrying the emotions with the head and being makes all the difference in the world. Can you do that? Can that help you?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to know that dream is a true dream. It's not a lie. Stop believing the lies. And it's okay, honey, that we all do that. And we do it as a self-sabotaging behavior because we don't think we're going to be able to have it anyway. So we might as well just keep not having it.
Yeah.
Sending you so much love, Karen.
Thank you.
John probably has something he wants to say.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many broke people have moved to Kauai.
Mm.
And I mean monetarily broke, not just emotionally.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That is so true.
Seriously.
I buy a house that I'm like, what am I doing buying this house? And it's like, the upper level. Go ahead.
No, it's like it's real. But they do it. If they can do it, I know you can.
Yeah.
I know you can. And what I've been doing lately also, Marilyn, is I've been like tapping into potentials, and it's as you're looking at the Pinterest board and resonating with those different places, maybe you just take deeper breaths and allow your energy, like feel your energy expanding as you're doing it. It's kind of like it's almost a meditation, but it's an active one. It's not where you have to go in and Archangel Michael has to come in and clear crap out so that you can get what you want. It's you being in an environment and creating that within yourself, where you're taking that contraction and it's like, oh, it's like relaxing and opening into that beautiful feminine energy of receiving. And you'll find that the grace of receiving engenders you towards your visions, your heart's desires. It's quite beautiful. And again, if you can go into Marilyn's class also and like the action taken, what do I do next? And what's possible next? Because sometimes we get so caught up in I don't know that we just don't, or I don't believe, or I don't deserve.
And I agree with John, like this is where this class can help you. Karen, right? I'm saying that right?
Yeah.
This is where this class can help you because it helps you to break it down into bite-sized, digestible, doable pieces. And that's what you need right now because you can be in overwhelm. Like this seems so far away. It seems so impossible. But then when you do little bite-sized things towards it, and you may find, like I said, like, you said eating or whatever, you may find doing something different with your eating. I'm just going to focus on 8 glasses of water a day. And you start doing something simple like that. You start believing in the possibilities and it makes it tangible. And what also happens is the universe is like, she's serious. She's really serious now. We want to help her out. So it's not about, like, for me, definitely never sitting on when people tell me I'm working on my money blocks, I know you're not saying this, sweetie, at all. I know you're not saying this, but I want to use this as a teaching thing, not you. I'm working on my money blocks. I'm like, how you doing it? Well, I'm sitting and meditating and on 5 minutes. I really want to punch them in the face. I'm being honest with you. Because there is no way you could get through anything just by sitting on your couch in meditation for 5 minutes. You sit with that visualization, that meditation, that heartfelt thing, and then spirit starts saying, go to the refrigerator, go listen to that podcast, go take that class. And those are the things, those are the breadcrumbs to the dream. I feel good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Marilyn, thanks.
Enjoy
John.
the ocean. Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's continue. User 200. What is your name or where are you calling from? And let's get you to unmute your microphone, please.
Hi, I'm Nan. I'm calling from the Santa Cruz Mountains between San Francisco and Santa Cruz.
We're close. You and I.
Better air. Where are you?
I'm in Marin County.
You're in
Outside
Marin.
of
I used to live in Point Reyes. Okay.
Yeah.
And I used to live in Los Gatos, so I know exactly where you are. Yeah.
That's where my favorite pet store
There
is.
you go.
All righty.
So what's
So
your question? Yeah.
My question is, I have all this weird ET attack stuff, and I thought I was basically through with that. And then last night I got,
Wait, what's your name?
my name is Nan.
Okay,
Short
great.
for Nancy.
I have to write the name down. Go ahead.
Yeah. Me too. and I have all this physical stuff interfering with my wanting to do offer my services as a healer. And I look like I'm older, and I don't walk right now because of this ET attack a couple of years ago. So I'm not sure what steps to take. Besides, I'm focused on getting my physicality fixed.
You can
But
be a healer right now, though.
say again.
You can be a healer right now.
That's true, but I don't know how acceptable that would how I present
Why?
would be.
Do you
Because
have
I
enough
look,
life?
my age, all that.
Those are limiting beliefs that you're putting
Yes.
in
Yes, they are.
in the place.
Yes.
So Nan, honestly, because people say this to me all the time, I'm waiting to heal before I heal. I'm like, whoa, there's a whole group of people behind you that need you, that are where you were at. And they're just asking Nan, who's got wisdom and years of experience and compassion and honesty, because let's find a healer that is down and grounded and honest.
That's right.
And they just want
Anybody.
you to put your hand back and help them. So but let me point something out for you that I want you to think about. Why are you putting these caveats in your path? Why are you making, I'm not saying, I'm going to say excuses, but it's not the right word, sweetie, because you've got things happening.
Yeah.
But I want to just use that word for now. Why are you making excuses for you not to be a healer right now? You probably are a healer. You talk to people, you listen to people, you help people.
And I've done it across the country, but
Exactly.
sporadically, but only to healers. And so I know it works because I did it on healers. So
Yeah.
well, I offered my services in this county, in the mountains, a couple of towns around, and nobody's taken for free. Nobody's taken me up on it. So
probably not your audience then. And I also wouldn't offer it for free. I would offer it for a donation so that people, if they can't, up to $25 if you want to do.
okay.
Maybe when you're offering it for free, let me tell you something. I'm looking for dog training places. And one of the places I looked at had a lot of reviews, but they weren't charging a lot. I don't trust them because they're not charging enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why would they be charging so much less than everybody else? I don't trust you with my dog now.
Yeah.
John, I know John has something to say with this because he's really good with this stuff. But Nan, get out there and get virtual. Do it virtually. You don't need to be in front of people, do you?
No, I don't.
Exactly. Go ahead, John.
I have a question for you. How important is it to know our why behind what we want to do?
Good question. Is that for Nan or me?
That's for you. And I'd love Nan to answer what her why is.
Yeah, for me, it's important, but it's not a why the way the business people teach it. It's about my own personal mission. My why is I want to affect change, at least in one person every single day, to recognize their gifts so they're affecting change on 100 people. Therefore, those 100 people are affecting change on thousands. So my why is really important because I want people to believe in their dreams, their gifts, and to get out there and use it. How about you, John? It wasn't for the longest time because I didn't like the way business people explained whys. It became very personal.
Yeah, my why is just I just can't help but to share from this overflow that I have. It's I can't contain it. I
Yeah.
have to. And part of that also is there's an aspect of me that desires to be seen, that desires to be in community, that desires to be acknowledged, that desires to feel that my voice, that what I have to say matters and the reflection that comes back. But in that, I know that we're reciprocally growing. It becomes not an ego why necessarily from those, I'm going to get the power thing, but it's a very innocent in that unity consciousness. Like, but of course, I want to connect to others in this way. And I want to know others that they can connect in this way, that they deserve that also, and that from their overflow of receiving, that their service becomes limitless. So that's part of my why. I can get into a whole book about my why.
It's so beautiful though, and it can have layers.
Mhm. Man, what's your why?
Mhm.
John, I couldn't have said it better than you.
Mhm.
Wow.
You can say it the way Nan says it. So what
Yeah,
is
but
it?
you were, but with all these attacks, my IQ's down 40 points, and you're there. So, um, yeah, I overflow. Yeah, I talk to people at bus stops because somebody wrecked my car, but I talk to people at bus stops and give them hints on not on, you know, don't wear a hat in the sunshine because that's where the sunshine comes in, hits the bottom base of your skull, and shoots to your pineal gland. Get you good light. I mean, I just love telling people things like that and then helping people feel better. I love
Nan,
that.
are you writing any of your stuff? Because maybe the people you went out to, they weren't conscious enough. Not it's not a I don't like talking poorly about people, but what you just shared is so good and so important that maybe you need to start just writing stuff and writing a book about your healing.
That's what Joe Fernandez said. Actually, Nan, you need to write that book.
You
She
do.
actually said,
And then you don't want to be on your deathbed going, why didn't I do this?
I know I'm close enough. I'm way over 25.
So are we all.
Well,
So
April,
thank you.
you're
Yeah,
welcome. Thank you for coming on
Yeah,
and
thanks, Nan.
and
thank
your
you.
enthusiasm for sharing your love is just so infectious. So thank you.
Thank
Uh,
you for feeling it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very sweet. And I
April,
see that somebody joined because right away when you join, because more people may have joined, they may have not filled out the quiz. You're going to get a quiz question. Answer those quiz questions because I want to get to know you. So make sure that when you do this program, you really participate because I want you to utilize me as much as you can until March 1st. I'm off on weekends, so don't bother me on weekends, but utilize me as much as you can.
self-prioritization. I love that.
But
I love
really,
that.
go ahead.
April, put the link in the chat box one more time. That Nan, the domino goal. What's
What's
the
the thing to
impetus of
start with?
that? What is it? And then how do I take the next step and the next step and the next step? And just knowing from that momentum that builds up, so that propulsion happens once we just start moving through the inertia. And so to have prompts and guides and someone that can hold the field for what's possible, community of like-minded, like inspired, like motivational
Hmm.
people. It's
Hmm.
it makes all the difference in the world. Marilyn, you know me, I've worked out all my life and I've gone through stages where I've been in great shape, super motivated to do things. And there are times where I just couldn't do anything. But I found whenever I tried to get back into a routine, if I went to a place where people were motivated, they were fit, they were like enthusiastic about it, the energy was really positive. It was so easy to get back into the flow of things. When I went to a place that was dingy, people weren't really there. They came in with beliefs of what they're supposed to look like or what they weren't. I found it so difficult
Mm-hmm.
to get to my goals.
Yeah. You got to be surrounded by people that's why this class and community will be great for people because you got to be surrounded by people who are already are doing it too, because it rubs off on you and it makes you want to do things. And it's not in a comparison nature. It's like you get inspired. You feel like you can do it. And then I love also listening to other people's stories. Like when you hear other people's stories, like you hear on this, it makes you feel like you're not alone. You're not crazy, but you have to do something about it. So I totally agree with you. I have to be surrounded by very motivational people.
I would tell you, you're crazy if you don't do these things, if you don't take those steps, if you don't follow your soul's calling. I think that's crazy. But that's another conversation for another time, maybe even a conspiracy theory call. I don't know. But all I know is that living our truth is the most normal, sacred thing that we can not only do for ourselves, but for others as well. And again, I love what you're teaching here, Marilyn. Okay, let's go on to our next caller. Again, the link for the special offer, y'all. The bonus calls, the curriculum, it's $97. We thought it was 111. That was already super generous. So this is amazing. Next caller, let's go to Jen. Welcome.
Hi, John. Hi, Marilyn. Thank you.
Hi,
Can you hear
Jen.
me? Okay?
Yeah. Hi.
I had a question about what you said about your program. You said it takes you out of your mind. And then you mentioned feelings and emotion, and I didn't quite understand. And then you mentioned something to another person about your emotions and your mind. And I'm not really following what you were trying to say there. And I don't know if I have a clear question or not.
Well, let me
In
go
other
back
words,
to what
yeah.
I'm saying, and then we can see if there is a question, and maybe what I said wasn't clear, which doesn't surprise me. So when we are in our mind and we're just setting goals and having affirmations, I am this, I am that, if our emotional body isn't at the same level as our mind, then we're creating dysfunction on our path. Because our thoughts may be like, oh, I'm going to be wealthy, or I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. But your heart and soul are like, I don't believe it. I'm not worthy. I'm in pain. Then the universe just keeps bringing you those painful moments because it's really responding to your energetic, emotional body more than your thoughts. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's much
So in the
clearer. Thank you.
program, you'll get more clear about what, like, practicality, what your goals are. And then through part of the live portion, you'll get more clear about what the emotional blocks may be that are keeping you back, because a lot of it's unconscious and we're not even consciously aware of it.
And how do you access what those emotional blocks are?
There's different ways, but I feel like when you're with your higher self and your higher self is showing you what the possibility is, and you get to see where you're at, you start seeing the disconnect of your higher self is confident, your higher self is affluent, she's excited, she's passionate. And then you're like, wait, I lack passion, I lack confidence. You start understanding and unraveling what's missing. And then the other part too is me coaching you if you get into the hot seat and stuff like that. But also just the work by the meditation, breaking down the paradigm, releasing things that aren't serving you. You realize you're holding on to something because there's an old belief there that you think you need it. You need that relationship. You need that experience. Does that help, honey?
Very much so. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
It's
great.
a hard thing. I do a lot of dream work, like in my signature programs and stuff. We do a lot of the unconscious work, but not in an emotional, psychological way that exhausts you. It's in a kind of like exploratory, magical way. I really take people out of the box. But in this program, you'll get a taste of it. That's like another program, you know.
Well, and I don't know why I don't usually dream or remember dreams, but in the last couple of nights, I dreamt about Donald Trump, and I didn't judge it or anything because I thought, okay, let's put myself in Donald Trump's place. What is it that I don't like about him? But what is it that he may need to do? In other words, I took the judgment out of it, and I was really freaked out first, but then I thought, I just kept going, everything you dream about is about yourself.
Exactly.
And I don't know how off I am or not, but
No,
it
you're
was,
not off, because Jungian believes that. So I teach different ways. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jen, but I teach different ways. So Jung believes that everybody in the dream is a representation of yourself.
mhm.
So there is a part of you, Donald Trump. I don't really follow Trump, and I'm not going to get in because I don't, the conversation. But what I know about him
I
is
don't either.
he's overly confident, right?
Mhm.
So
Mm.
that part of overconfidence, nothing's going
Mm.
to stand in his way. He's going to do what he doesn't care what you think about him.
Mhm.
We all need a piece of that when we're running
Mhm.
our own businesses, building a brand, because we're not coming from a sanctioned medical school, passing the bar. We're sanctioning ourselves in our work And now we're bringing it out into the masses. We have to take ownership of what we're doing in a very, and not in an ego, he's a little egotistical, not in an egotistical way, but sometimes we have to get the ego up to, in order to start believing. Does that help?
That's even better, because I was thinking in terms of the world and keeping peace in the world and all of that, but it's like, no, bring it back down.
I don't think
So
it was. I think it's more about you taking ownership of your voice, your power.
No, you're right, because the other dream, that makes a lot of sense. Okay,
Good.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Marilyn, what would you say to, or how would you advise somebody that's so focused on what's happening outside of themselves, what's happening on the other side of the world, what's happening in politics, what's happening in Desperate Housewives, or whatever. It's because they feel it's like, well, I don't have anything else. It's sometimes like, again, we don't have something to focus on necessarily that we
So
that we-
they're distracting themselves and not wanting to do the work. Honestly, John, that's what I think it is. They're not wanting to do the work on the pieces inside of them that they might be disappointed with or sad about or hurt about. So they distract themselves with world things that might incite anger, fear, emotion, because they don't know how to take their own experience, their own life, and feel those feelings about their own life. So it's a disassociation for me. I don't know what you think it is.
Yeah, it's funny because as you're talking about that, it's that, and sometimes we don't even know that we're doing it because we're brought up that way, or we've been doing it for so long that the loop has gotten, it just makes sense to do that. So to come back, if we find ourselves outwardly focused so much, or not knowing how just to land within ourselves enough. This is so wonderful because you really do start to take your own life back. Go ahead, Marilyn.
Yeah, and something you just said, John, and thank you for saying what you said, because as empaths, we feel so much. And how many of you, I'd love for you to answer in the chat, are feeling more so than ever lately? Are you doing that, John? I'm feeling a lot. Like my feelings are maybe you're not. And empaths, the way that they learned how to deal with their abilities was to shut down their heart and hide. But empaths are being called into the world now to do the work. And we actually have to lead with our heart and our emotions. So empaths need to learn how to feel and then be powerful in their feelings. Instead of, so a lot of times if people are scrolling, I don't scroll on social media. If I find myself, when my dog died or my mother died, I needed a little reprieve from my own emotional state, I would scroll and fall down animal videos. But it is so important that we feel, because our feelings are going to save, like it's just going to help. Does that make sense too?
It makes a lot of sense. And I want to give everyone the other side of being an empath. Because yeah, there's feeling a lot and needing to feel it and let it attune to us. But there's an empowerment that comes through on the other side that is so important, because you realize that when you become energetically drained, it's not because, yes, you're empathic, but that's just saying, hey, go nurture yourself. The world isn't going to change because you're an empath. You're adapting into your capacity to feel, which is also your capacity to intuit and to tune into your higher self and guides.
Yeah.
Next, we expanding that, it becomes a source of a relational power with something that we've denied in ourselves for a long time. And so now, because we can feel, we can attune to that with greater clarity. We can know to release when it isn't ours by coming back and nourishing and nurturing ourselves. And we can have compassion for those people that we've had to kind of put in the other room for a little bit while we gather ourselves back.
I love that you said clarity, and I was writing the word. I just finished writing the word and you said it.
Love that.
Yeah, John, there's something I want to say that you just said that was so important to me. And it is about the clarity, is that our heart is our truth. For me, the throat chakra and the heart chakra are our truth chakras, because we don't always speak our truth to ourselves and we deny our feelings. And as empaths, we need to be in our heart chakra so that we know what it is we're meant to do. And that's where clarity comes. So I love everything you said and attune with it. And it's a powerful place, very powerful place.
Very powerful. prioritizing, planning, 10xing our
Yes.
lives, y'all. And it's not like this far out, far-fetched thing that'll happen. Oh my God, I'm gonna 10x my life. Maybe
Yeah.
not. Follow along, and I promise you, I know what Marilyn's been doing. She's been in it. She has been swimming in those waters and embodying and guiding other people through, and it's your life will shift.
Yeah, it's very it's been really fascinating to me, and I think it's been radical self-acceptance through it. It's been honoring my dreams and my desires and who I am. And it's been really going for things and not denying myself. And it's having patience for the timeline. I don't even
Mhm.
worry about the timeline because I'm in action. So I don't sit here and go, oh, I didn't reach this goal, because that's not how I work. I surrender to the universe. I surrender to my guides. And I know that I'm on the journey, and on the journey, something else magical shows up. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't even think of that. Like the
Mhm.
woman who wants to be a healer and is asking if I could help her because she wants to elevate her business. That's my expertise. Those are my people. And she might be thinking podcast. And then what usually comes into me is like, all right, well, then you need to do, this is what's coming through YouTube and podcasts and, Instagram reels and stuff like that. And we need to be seen. And if some people who don't like social media, I get this. And when you find what you're truly passionate about, you actually enjoy doing social media. So I don't worry about posting every day or doing this or doing that. I'm constantly getting awards from Facebook on my personal page for being one of the top contributors. Now, I don't even have as many followings as anybody else, but because I'm putting content out there that people are constantly, and it's usually because I'm at my desk and something happened and I'm like, shh, I write it up and put a picture of my dog. And it makes people think. And when you're that much in your heart and soul of what you love to do, that's what happens. And so the people that I'm teaching, they're learning how to love social media because they're not worried about what people think or what people are saying or what's going on or the energy of this social media. They're like, I just have something to say. It's like what you said, John, and I have to put it out there.
Yeah.
So sorry, I went off a little there.
Don't ever apologize for going off a lot. Please do it more. This is fantastic, y'all. The link for Marilyn's special offer is in the chat box, y'all. When you watch the replay, there'll be a special offer button at the bottom of the replay page. Y'all take advantage of it. It's $97. You get the bonus live. I won't call them classes, bonus live
Yeah, because did you say immersions?
immersions. Yeah. It's amazing what comes through. And again, Marilyn's just a fantastic and fun teacher. So I hope you all take advantage of it. And of course, we're going to run the replay all weekend long, the rest of the week as well. So you can come back and listen and take in what's been shared here. If you're going to leave everybody with one nugget or maybe one huge epiphany of wisdom for this evening that they can take with themselves and do something with after tonight's call, what would it be, Marilyn?
Don't deny yourself your truth.
Mm.
Don't deny yourself your truth. That's what Spirit's saying to me. Because not only you're hurting yourself, but you're hurting many others that are just sitting in silence, waiting for your words of wisdom. So don't deny yourself your truth. That's what I would say.
Wow. Mm. And
Thanks,
I
everyone.
want you all to feel that in your mind and let it seep into your hearts. Don't deny yourself your truth. Wow. You're awesome, Marilyn. Every time. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And thanks everybody. And thank everybody for who participated as well. It means a lot to me and I appreciate it. And I can't wait to get to meet you guys on the 10X class. Don't hem and haw. Just do it. Just do it. It's $97. It's like $97 where you're going to have a whole live experience, not only a digital course that you'll always have access to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do lifetime access, but you do have access for a while. So only because I don't know if I'm going to want to host that class when I'm 90 years old. What do you think, man? It's like
Other fish to fry. But y'all, it's don't just sign up for the class, do it.
Yeah, and do the live experience because you're going to get change and we're going to be talking like this.
Mhm.
So yeah. All right. That's
All right,
it.
I'm excited for
Love you
y'all.
guys.
You're awesome. Love you so much. Love all of y'all on the call. I look forward to seeing y'all on the next live one next week. Until then, blessings.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, wait, what was your wisdom? Don't deny
Don't deny your truth.
don't deny. All right. Hanging out with that, y'all. See you.
Bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.